Hello everyone, it's your casual gamer Meep here, and welcome back to the channel. Continuing the top 5 build series by request of both Minskull and the fact that the most recent developer Q&A had them at the lowest pick rate of 1.15% out of all the killers in Dead by Daylight, this video will be on the twins. These builds are designed to take advantage of their various add-ons and will vary based on fun, effectiveness, and overall lore. If you enjoy the video, consider leaving a like as it helps promote the video through YouTube, and consider subscribing for more content. Now, on to the builds. The first build plays with the twins' lore a little bit, in which they're desperate to survive, and as the flavor text of their add-on suggests, they've had to resort to stealing from others to survive. I call it the Steal and Peel build. The add-ons are the Spinning Top and the Toy Sword. The Spinning Top has the effect of causing survivors to drop their items whenever a victor pounces on them successfully, which effectively steals their items in a sense. And the Toy Sword add-on lets Victor charge up his pounce faster to hopefully down survivors faster. The perks are Hoarder, Pop Goes the Weasel, Hex Crowd Control, and No Way Out. Hoarder gives you a notification when a survivor either goes to open a chest or pick up an item within 64 meters of your location. This is meant to synergize with the Spinning Top by punishing them for stealing their item back essentially from you. It also spawns in 2 additional chests into the trial, which effectively gives the perk more opportunities to activate and punish survivors for wanting to plunder your chests. Pop Goes the Weasel activates for 45 seconds after hooking a survivor. The next generator you go to kick will instantly regress by 25%, effectively stealing away their progress. Meanwhile, Hex Crowd Control blocks all windows a survivor vaults for up to 20 seconds, so long as the Hex Totem remains uncleansed. This is to take away their avenues of escape and to hopefully shorten the duration of chases, because it'll make it harder for them to get away from Victor or Charlotte. And as for No Way Out, it is to rob them of the opportunity of even opening the exit gates for up to a minute. It blocks the exit gate switches for 12 seconds by default, and 12 additional seconds each time you hook a different survivor for their first time. This next build I like to call the Ticking Time Bomb Twins. The idea behind it is to provide powerful effects to the twins and punish survivors before setting off the build's various activation requirements. The add-ons for this build include the Iridescent Pendant and Victor's Soldier. When a survivor goes to crush Victor while he's idle, they'll suffer from the exposed status effect for 45 seconds due to the Iridescent Pendant. It aims to punish them essentially for killing your partner in crime. But wait, there's more. In case you're far away from Victor, Victor's Soldier will reveal their aura after crushing Victor for 6 seconds, which is a bit of a double whammy for the survivor. The perks for this build include Hex Devour Hope, Claustrophobia, Eruption, and Blood Warden. Hex Devour Hope gives you a token each time you hook a survivor, and whenever they're unhooked with you're more than 24 meters away from their location. When you get 3 tokens, however, all survivors will suffer from the exposed status effect, and at 5 tokens you'll be able to mori them outright, regardless of whether they've been hooked or not. Depending on the totem spawn location, if you're able to, you can place Victor next to it or up close to it. This way you'll have Killer Instinct on the survivor as they go to approach it, and if they actually go to kick Victor while he's idle, they'll be punished essentially for it by being both exposed and having their aura revealed to you. As you build up Devour Hope, Claustrophobia is to help during your chases as it blocks all windows within 32 meters of a generator whenever it's completed. This is essentially to cut off their chase resources and make it easier if you decide to chase them with Victor or Charlotte. Meanwhile, Eruption plays into the idea of being a time bomb, both in name and effect, because for each generator you go to kick, its aura is revealed to you in yellow. Whenever you put someone into the dying state by any means, Eruption causes all yellow generators to regress by 6%. Additionally, if any survivor is working on a generator that explodes because of Eruption, they'll suffer from the incapacitated status effect for 14 seconds, meaning they won't be able to hop back on it immediately after it explodes, allowing it to regress even further. The last perk is the Surprise of Blood Warden, and at the end of the trial, if an exit gate is open, hooking a survivor will call upon the entity to block both exit gates for up to 60 seconds. If the survivors are able to cleanse your Devour Hope, you can place Victor near an exit gate switch before the gates are powered so that if they kick Victor and are exposed by the Iridescent Pendant, it can help you get a cheeky Blood Warden play in, or it can help you secure your victory in a 1v1 scenario by being able to patrol both gates at once. Going into build number 3, the Ticking Time Bomb Twin add-ons, the Iridescent Pendant and Victor Soldier, proved to be very effective in defending the Devour Hope totem, so those add-ons are moving on to this build and are going to function the same way essentially. Like the previous build, Victor is going to be kept idle a large part of the game, minus the times we need to switch to him so he doesn't die just standing around idly, in order to protect Hex the Third Seal. This is the Slug or Nothing build in which you'll either end up slugging everyone or not. I was originally going to use Lethal Pursuer, Deerstalker, Sloppy Butcher, and A Nurse's Calling, but it just wasn't as effective or fun, and actually was quite stressful because the survivors essentially had boon totems that more or less just completely countered the build altogether, aka Circle of Healing. The perks you should use instead are Hex the Third Seal, Knockout, Hex Undying, and Deerstalker. At the start of the trial, you need to immediately select which of the 2 Hex totems is in a good enough space for Victor to defend by body blocking it essentially. As the build revolves around Hex the Third Seal, this perk makes it to where hitting a survivor with a basic or special attack causes that survivor to suffer from the blindness status effect. All 4 survivors can suffer from this hex, and it will make it harder for them to find their teammates on the ground once everyone has been hit. Meanwhile, as you build up Hex the Third Seal and essentially trying to hit everyone, Knockout causes a survivor hit with your basic attack into the dying state will hide their aura to all of their teammates when they're more than 16 meters away from their location. In addition to hiding their aura for the first 15 seconds of them being slugged, they'll also crawl 50% slower than normal. And as you apply Hex the Third Seal to everyone, this perk essentially will lose its value over time, but in the beginning it's needed to slug effectively. As for Hex Undying, it's basically used to generate a second Hex totem in the hopes that one of them will be in a good defendable position with Victor so that when Undying ultimately breaks, Hex the Third Seal will be safe essentially. And as for a Deerstalker, it lets you see survivors in the dying state, which is great for finding slugs, as they eventually start crawling around the map, and so it's easy to lose track of them essentially. This build can be very nasty if you keep track of Victor's idle meter, and also the killer instinct that builds up around him should a survivor approach him, and if you're able to capitalize on survivors kicking him with both the Iridescent Pendant and Victor's Soldier essentially. So yeah, this can be a pretty nasty kind of slugging build. Up next is what I like to call the Ninja Twins build. This build aims to make the twins as stealthy as possible through their add-ons and perks. The add-ons are the Silencing Cloth and the Cat's Eye. The Silencing Cloth makes Charlotte undetectable for 20 seconds after waking up when she switches back from Victor. The Cat's Eye, meanwhile, makes Victor completely silent whenever he fully charges up his Pounce attack. For this build, you'll need Tinkerers, Dark Devotion, Dragon's Grip, and also Iron Maiden. Tinkerers makes you undetectable for 16 seconds anytime a generator reaches 75% completion. In addition to it making you stealthy, it's also a decent means of tracking in this build. Dark Devotion functions similarly by making you undetectable for 30 seconds after you hit the Obsession. It also creates a fake 32-meter wide tear radius around them that they carry with them for the duration of Dark Devotion. Meanwhile, Dragon's Grip activates when you go to kick a generator. If a survivor goes to touch that generator within 30 seconds of it being kicked, then that survivor will scream and they'll suffer from the exposed status effect for up to 60 seconds. The idea of using this perk is that you kick the generator with Charlotte and leave her near it as you switch to Victor and leave the area ultimately. If a survivor goes to touch it during those 30 seconds and becomes exposed, switching back to Charlotte and being undetectable means you can sneak up on them and get an easy down essentially. And Iron Maidens is kind of like a surprise factor should anyone try to use lockers as a counter to Victor, or our non-existent barbecue and chili aura reading. Whenever a survivor leaves a locker, they scream and reveal their location for 4 seconds and are exposed for up to 30 seconds. Overall, this build just aims to surprise everyone on both sides essentially. As for the twins' lore-based build, growing up in 17th century France and hunted down their entire lives, the twins never had an easy life. They were considered monsters and demons, and their mother Madeline a witch for birthing them. For the first few years of their life were joyous playing games of survival with their mother by their side. Victor and Charlotte to the world will always be bound for death, for they were conjoined twins. Deathbound activates when a survivor is healed by another survivor when you're more than 32 meters away from their location. When the healing action is completed, the healer will scream, and if they leave the person they healed by more than 8 meters, they will suffer from the Oblivious status effect for up to 60 seconds. As outcasts from society, Madeline and the twins would have to resort to stealing from nearby towns to survive. They didn't just steal food to survive, such as the stale biscuit, but as their various add-ons suggest, toys as well, including the weighty rattle and the cat figurine. Franklin's Demise is the next perk, as hitting a survivor with your basic attack causes them to drop their items and have their items aura revealed to you. The survivor has up to 90 seconds to pick up their item before it passively runs out of charges due to Franklin's Demise. Because they would have to steal and make the best out of their situation in life, and make do with what little they had, they would have to hoard what little they did have. Hoarder, as mentioned earlier, spawns 2 additional chests into the trial, and whenever a survivor goes to touch a chest or pick up an item, you receive a notification of it so long as they're within 64 meters of your location. After being caught by witch hunters in the woods, the twins would see their own mother burned alive before their very eyes. With the only person who loved them now gone from the world, the twins would carry on in life with hatred and bitterness towards humanity. One might call this Rancor. Each time a generator is completed, Rancor activates. The location of all survivors are revealed to you for 3 seconds, and the Obsession sees your auras for up to 3 seconds as well. When the last generator is completed, however, the Obsession will suffer from the exposed status effect, and if they are downed, you'll be able to kill them outright by your own hand, regardless of whether they have been hooked or not. The twins are probably the most mechanically unique killer in Dead by Daylight, and to this day they are the only killers that have 2 unique characters that you can control at any given time during a trial. Even though they had a rocky start when they first released, they've come a long way since then. And with that being said, we've come to the end of the video. If you made it this far, who do you prefer, Charlotte or Victor? Also, who would you like to see as the next killer to be in the top 5 build series? Let me know down below in the comment section as well. I'm E+3, and I will see you next time. Goodbye for now.